Welcome. I have the privilege and honor of introducing you to our guest speaker tonight. So Dr. Barrington-Trimis is an assistant professor of preventive medicine. And as you may have already guessed, she's the director of epidemiology of substance use research group, all at University of Southern California, USC. Her research is really concentrated on rapidly changing tobacco, alternative tobacco, and cannabis landscape. And the topic for tonight is specifically a very timely one, vaping. And as I think a lot of you have heard, it's probably the transcending topic among our youth. And I have a personal stake in this because I have a 17-year-old son and a 15-and-a-half-year-old daughter, and I'm sure they don't vape, and they don't know what vaping is. But anyhow, without further ado, here's Dr. Barrington-Trimis.
My talk today is really going to talk about vaping and youth and some of the things that we know, some of the things that we don't know, and just give you all an overview about what is happening in terms of vaping, which we all know is affecting us all.
There's an epidemic spreading. Scientists say it can change your brain. It can release dangerous chemicals like formaldehyde into your bloodstream. It can expose your lungs to acrolein, which can cause irreversible damage. It's not a parasite, not a virus, not an infection. It's vaping.
So vaping, a little bit of a dramatic introduction. This was an advertisement from the Truth Initiative regarding vaping to give youth some more information about it. So from 2011 to 2019, we have seen a huge increase in the proportion of youth who are vaping. These are data from the National Youth Tobacco Survey, which is a nationally representative survey of youth in the United States. In 2011, about 1.5% of 12th graders, of high school students reported vaping in the past 30 days. This increased to 27.5% in 2019. You can see here a huge increase over this time period. At the same time, the proportion of youth who are using cigarettes has declined. It went from about 15% in 2011 down to 5.8% in 2019. But you can see that from about 2013, 2014, on to the present, there's been a little bit of a leveling off. And so there's concern here with the huge increase in vaping and kind of a little bit of a decline and a leveling off that that vaping may be doing more harm than good here. So let me talk to you a little bit about the evolution of e-cigarettes, and I'll tell you a little bit about why I'm worried about the new products that are on the market. Back in 2007, the first type of e-cigarettes came on the market. These things looked like cigarettes. Their intention was really to be used as a cigarette substitute. So the people that came up with the idea of the e-cigarette said, well, okay, let's give people something that looks exactly like the thing that they're currently using. Just tell your cigarette smokers to switch from their combustible cigarettes to their e-cigarettes. They'll look the same. And this will be great. No combustion, a much safer product. Very quickly, this evolved away from the product that actually looked like a cigarette into products that were similar in size and shape, but had a totally different feel to them. From there, we moved away altogether from this product that looked like a cigarette, that kind of felt like a cigarette, to vape pens, which came on the market around 2009. Vape pens differed a lot from the initial cig-likes because they were more customizable, they were more modifiable. You could fill them with whatever type of e-liquid solution you wanted to fill it with, in whatever kind of nicotine concentration, in whatever kind of flavor. And so this all of a sudden provided users with something that wasn't just pick up and go, but like, this is now my device. And I can make it what I want it to make it. these devices were also much better devices in terms of nicotine delivery relative to the cig-like predecessor. From there, there was a movement toward these new products, which were called mods or box mods. They're called mods because you can modify them. They consist of a couple of different components, including an atomizer, which is the part at the top, and the battery, which is the component on the bottom. You can mix and match different things. Again, you can fill these with your own e-liquid solutions and really just make this product your own. In 2015, a brand new product came on the market that differed substantially with respect to all of the products that came before it. And this is the Joule. A lot of you probably have heard of Joule, know of Joule. Joule has been in the news a lot lately. And Joule really changed the e-cigarette market by use of a new patented salted nicotine formulation. What this did is allow users to use an e-liquid solution that had very, very high levels of nicotine without the aversive effects that you typically get when you're using high levels of nicotine. Nicotine is not a very good tasting chemical. It doesn't taste great. When you're using nicotine in these products or in cigarettes, a lot of times people talk about it doesn't feel good when you hit it. There's like a throat hit. If you have nicotine levels that are very, very high in these products, the aversiveness of use of nicotine just becomes almost unbearable the higher it goes. With Joule, all of a sudden you could have very, very high levels of nicotine and it didn't taste bad. And so this was a completely revolutionized the e-cigarette world, because all of a sudden, instead of getting sort of inefficient nicotine delivery with these earlier devices, all of a sudden now you have really efficient and really good nicotine delivery. From there, a lot of other products came on the market that used that same salted nicotine formulation that allowed for very, very high levels of nicotine. We saw the Sorin and other types of pod mod devices that, again, you can see why this might be appealing to youth. This was followed by squonk mods, which again was another method of just getting really efficient nicotine delivery. And most recently, we see disposable pod products. These products are very similar to Joule in the way that they look, in terms of being a stick-like device that can be concealed. It's sleek, it can be hidden. You can vape without anyone knowing that you're vaping. And the best thing about these products, right, is that they're disposable. So if you lose them, it's not a big deal. They're very cheap to purchase. If kids are at school and the product gets taken away, no big deal to go buy another one later that afternoon. These products are all really posing a threat to public health because of the very, very high levels of nicotine that are delivered. All of these products typically use salted nicotine formulations, which means, again, users are just getting really, really high levels of nicotine. So in a talk I gave earlier today, actually, there were some questions about how much these products actually cost. And so I have one slide just on how much all of these things cost. I'll come back to that in just a second, actually. So when you're looking at the cig-likes, now they sell for about $8 for one of these blue products that are disposable as well. The big difference between the cig-like product and the disposable pod product is in how good the nicotine delivery is. Really not great nicotine delivery here, excellent nicotine delivery over there. For your vape pens, you're looking at $15 to $100 or more, depending on what type of product you get, plus the e-liquid solutions. The mods or box mods, anywhere from $30 to $300 or more, depending on the type of product you get, plus the e-liquid. There are definitely products that go for $7,